Burrows is a news anchor reporter with NTV, an only child, but my father is in the UK and I have many half-sisters and brothers courtesy of him, raised by a single mom. Yeah, she passed away in 2016. She had been unwell. She came to Nairobi on a Monday. So I tell her, I'll take her to hospital on Tuesday. The following day, she's like, no, I want to rest. Then on Wednesday, when I wake up, no, that's the day we are meant to go to hospital. So in the morning, I find her pacing up and down, up and down, up and down. She was saying she's having trouble breathing, but she was walking. So because I panicked, no, you can't talk like that. You have to be strong. On the fridge, I had like Red Cross numbers and all that, and they're like, you're too far away. I was living in Ruaka. They're like, call St. John's. So I finally called St. John's. St. John's are not arriving. But I knew, even when St. John's, I called my family, they came, so when St. John's came and they're trying to check for her pulse, nothing. So I could see and I could tell that she's gone. So when my boss came at the time, from Capital, Robjilo Bernard Momanyi, they came to the house. So I was telling Momanyi, if I had just taken her to hospital yesterday, so that feeling of, yeah, so I would say never put off to tomorrow what you can do today. I'm a rule follower. In school, I was the teacher's pet type of person. The person who follows the signs of do not cross. I mean, do not walk on grass. I will not walk on. I will not cut across. So I didn't get up to too much mischief. There's a night my friends and I wanted to go out, and then so I told my mom we had a campfire, which we did not. I just wanted to go out with my friends. So one of my friend's sisters was at Catholic University, so we went to her room. So when you're leaving the house, you leave with a nice long skirt. It was a wraparound skirt. So I was meant to come back now on Sunday morning. So we get to the club. So of course underneath it there's the mini skirt, and you know. So what we do is we'd hide our bags behind the DJ's booth, you know, where they spin and all that. I'd put my wraparound skirt in my friend's bag. I don't know how that happened. Don't ask me. I don't know how that happened. So she left before me without my knowledge. And please note, we used to jab with, because how much should you be given as pocket money? Like 500 bob a week or something, right? You chill around 5:30, catch a matatu, go to town, and then I'll go home. So here I was, thank God I had a show. So I used my wrap as a skirt, but when I got home, of course, my mom was awake and she wondered, she just knew I had gone out. I mean, what happened? You left looking one way, you're back home looking a totally different way. So yeah, so I got busted. My mom was actually not very strict. Even my first sip of alcohol, because they would have these weekend parties, so they tell you, you know, you tell kids just taste. Yeah. Yeah, even I remember when I palmed my hair, my niece wrote a poem that her hair is like steel wool, so my mom advocated for her to also palm her hair. She was that kind of mom. She was very easygoing. Yeah, just but trust for her was the big issue.
Good afternoon, you're watching NTV.
I always wanted to be on TV. I mean, I know it sounds so cliche, but you know, I would stay up watching KTN and then CNN would come on and I'd want to be on CNN, you know, and then I'd practice with a hairbrush in front of the mirror, you know, imagining that I was Catherine Kasavuli. Oh my gosh, she was the big thing. I had applied for a job with Capital FM like 2 years earlier. I'd even met Kirubi, and then he said he doesn't like hiring fat people. I know. Then, yeah, so I thought that was done. Yeah. But then Michael Momo, who was the editorial director at the time, so he gave me a call 2 years later. He told me, I have an opening. Are you interested? Actually, Kirubi's PA never forgot me. I think she felt for me. Yeah. So she told Momo, there's this lady, we have her CV. Because he was at the time looking for somebody to blog post for him. So Momo called me. This is 2 years later. I'm at Destination Magazine. And it was just around the time I was meant to renew my contract with Destination, and he's offering me a permanent position. So I joined Capital FM in October of 2012. Stayed with Capital FM for 6 years before I came to the nation. So that was my very long journey here to TV from a child standing in front of the mirror. Actually, in between, I'd given up on TV actually, and I was, because my aunt had told me, you know, she wanted me to you know, in the Bible, was it Moses was asked, what do you have in your hand?
Yes.
So that was her argument. She was like, you can write, be able to write, just exploit that. So I had, at the back of my hand, subconsciously just given up on the whole TV dream. So until I joined the Nation, I was at Capital FM, I felt like, you know, New Year's resolutions. It was 2018. And I was like, okay, it's a new year. I feel I've done print, I've done radio, I want to try my hand at TV. So I started snippets of news short, we called it news short. So I would produce it and then present it together with a gentleman called Davy Sayega. He's still at Capital FM. He reads the sports news and then N news. So I think that's how the Nation, as is always, you know, every other season, as is the case with TV, there was the transfers, as those who are into sports would call it. So they needed new talent. So they saw the videos we posted up on YouTube. I guess they liked what they saw, so they approached me. We just formed a bond with Dennis because he was doing mainly investigative. So I was new to TV completely. And then he had been doing investigative features and they needed him to step in to the anchoring role, as I said, after the transfers. So it was just born out of developing a friendship. So it was just a good friendship, I think. I think that's why it looked like there was chemistry, because there was actually a friendship behind it. We were not clicking at each other like behind the scenes or anything. But it was just, you know, and then that whole encouraging, like he really encouraged me, gave me pointers, you know, maybe you need to strengthen this, slow down, because I would really go really fast and my heart would pump so hard when we're reading news. So he was, for me, my rock at the time on air. So he gave me that stability. So in fact, I credit where I am now. At least now I'm able to anchor alone and I'm fine and I own my space. But some of that credit goes to him for having my back. I refused to tell anyone that I was going to interview Obama because I was afraid, because it was like the very last thing on his itinerary before he flew out of the country. So I was like, in case it doesn't happen, I don't want to get people's hopes up. I didn't even tell my mom, hopes up, and then it doesn't happen. So he walks into the room and then he says, hi, Olive. And of course, he's been briefed who Olive is. But Olive is like, in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, Obama knows my name. Sometimes, I have to pinch myself like to believe it actually happened. Yeah. So I would say that was, career-wise, that was my biggest accomplishment. And I think I held my own. And then I also learned a lot because it was my first interview at that level. So I'd consider that my biggest achievement. My free time, I cook. I enjoy cooking, especially new recipes. I like shopping for exotic ingredients and trying new dishes. Yeah, so cooking. I enjoy reading. Kindle. Sometimes if I get a good book, I'm the type of person who will not sleep until I finish the book. I like shopping, like window shopping more. So I like go to the mall, but I will always find things I need. So as women, we always find things we need. So those mainly, mainly those three things. I also like traveling, but road trips. Let me say road trips.